this whole experience of being together and the Shabbaton, we will only be able to say that we tapped into something supernatural. As a unit, as our soul really is on fire. Please God. So I want to say that our soul powers are ours. They're here. It's not like we have to try to get them from somewhere else. It's like these are our supernatural powers that are in our neshama. And our whole job is actually to redeem them. We were born and they have a bit of a crusty klipa barrier, and we're taught that we're supposed to circumcise our heart, not just an 8-day baby. That we're here to redeem these super rational, unbelievable soul powers of our heart. Now, when we see the menorah and we see the experience of the celebration of Hanukkah, it actually teaches us so many lessons, even by the design of the menorah, to help us understand how can we get to the inner light of our neshama. So, there's a book called Shaarei Ora. It is deep teachings of Rabbi Dober of Lubavitch, and he explains in detail each part of the menorah and how it symbolizes the day-to-day work that we need to do to be able to allow our neshama to shine. We know there's a teaching that says a wise man's eyes are on his head. Now, every person knows where one's eyes are. So we know there's something deeper to this. The wise man's eyes are looking up on his head. Why? Because he's yearning and longing for the Shekhinah to rest upon him. And he's looking, is this deed, what I'm about to do, going to allow me the merit for the Shekhinah to rest on me or not? And with that, he's able to discern, is it worth doing this or not? The Miriam Yerushalmi actually teaches us that the menorah and each part helps us make that decision day by day and hopefully second by second. The menorah actually is the vessel, right? If we didn't have the actual physical menorah, the oil would go on the floor, the wick would fall down, and maybe a little fire, and then it would go out. Mm-hmm. So we need that. Without that, we can't have a light. The wick actually represents our body. The body that's needed in the actions that we do to create a vessel to contain godliness. So the actual menorah represents our service of prayer. That is what helps us contain our godliness. When we wake up in the morning, there's a teaching by the Rebbe, the Hadodi, Boikala, talks about the fact that in the Gemara it says, when you wake up in the morning, your neshama is stationed at your nose until the fiery words of prayer are said, the neshama can come inside. That means the fiery words act like a purification process to make our body pure. We need to prepare our body. We need to make it a vessel so that godliness can reside within us. We need to understand, though, that once the neshama is inside of us, after we've purified our heart and our mind and our body, it still needs something more. The Alter Rebbe Tanya actually teaches us, but why? Our neshama, isn't our neshama good enough? Isn't our neshama like so pure, so holy that the Shekhinah can rest on us? Why do we need all these other stuff? Well, if you look at the menorah and you see oil is needed to seep through the wick so that there would be a constant fire. But the oil dissipates. Look, there's no more. It's gone. So there's no more light. So our neshama, if it would dissipate, if the fire of the Shekhinah would rest upon us, the Shekhinah would just have a klota nefesh and actually expire and go back to Hashem. The soul isn't enough to be able to contain the godliness that is here for us. Torah and mitzvot is the oil. And the oil needs to seep in and seep in and seep in our mind, our heart, so that the Shekhinah, when resting on us, burns away our negativity. Just like in the wick, you see it's being burnt. But it's not completely burnt because of the oil. The oil is constantly coming through. Then it disappears. So we did Shacharit, but then it disappears. We need Mikvah. We did Shacharit. We then learn Torah so that we have a constant flow. If not, then the Shekhinah doesn't rest on us. And what does that mean for us when the Shekhinah doesn't rest on us? Big time Yetzer Hara. He then has the access to our heart, to our mind, to our lips, directing us what to see in a good way or not a good way. So we see that to tap into our supernatural powers, we got to hang on to the Shekhinah. Because the Shekhinah will light up our neshama. The Shekhinah will allow our superpowers to organically and naturally come through. Rabbi Rashab actually also teaches us that the power of this amazing Shekhinah that's resting on us is not only burning away at our negativity, but it's causing our soul to reach even higher levels that it could not contain but for being in a body and being in this world. I give an example. Imagine you're going on a trip and you're by Niagara Falls and you have a champagne glass. And you're about to have a date with your wife, and there's a champagne glass, and you wanted to drink some water. What's going to happen to that champagne glass if you put it under the Niagara Falls? It will not contain the waters. It will shatter. So, creating this vessel to be allowing the Shekhinah to rest on us helps our mind and our heart and our soul not shatter. I want to bring from Kuntra Sumayan a teaching, and I wanted to read it because when you read something, it actually is very, very powerful. Because if I just say it, okay, maybe if you read it somewhere, when you actually hear it, then you understand the power of this vessel to protect us from being shattered and crushed in a not good way. It says here that And I'll get to the punchline first, and then I'll explain it. There are so many who suffer incapacities, mental and emotional disorders, caused by an overabundance of light and a paucity of a vessel. Because this puny vessel could not contain and absorb the capacity of this intense, beautiful light. So I always tell people who come my way who are suffering mentally, emotionally, or they have a husband that is so wildly obnoxious and worse, or they have a child, whoever it is, I say they are so holy. They have so much light. They are so gifted. It's just they haven't learned how to create the vessel to contain it. Because this holy fire shatters them, crushes them, and breaks them. Because they haven't developed the understanding, nor have they been given the tools how to prepare their heart and their mind for this light to burn and shine rather than burn them. We need to have this connection, this understanding of how to continuously allow the flow to be able to stay within us so that we can contain it. Now, there is in life a good crushing. There's the crashing of our keli, our vessel, because we didn't do enough to make it. But then, there's sometimes life circumstances. And God sees, oh, so you're not really crushing yourself? You're not like squeezing like the oil that gets, extracted from a crushing experience. I just did a children's program yesterday, and we actually saw an olive oil factory. And boy, did they have to really work hard. The old-fashioned ones to get that little oil out. So we see here that when you read this, Hashem says to us, look, I'm going to give you life events, and the life events are going to help you. They're going to crush you, and it's going to help squeeze the neshama out, because then you're more desperate, and then you're more alone, and then you're longing for some help, and then you turn to God. But it says here, unbelievably beautifully stated. All right, here we are. We are, the Jewish people, like a leafy olive tree, beautiful with shapely fruit. Now, what is this aspect of being beautiful with shapely fruit? In the fruit, there's something juicy, yummy, but there's like this peel. We need to get to it. This represents the revelation of our soul's hidden love of Hashem. The aspect of the highest level love, Re'uta Deliva. And especially now, Kislev, so much beautiful teachings on Kis, the heart, Lev, of love. So many beautiful teachings now in Kislev that we have actually the power to access the deepest, most yummy parts of our neshama that's hidden. Kis is a pocket, and Lamed Vav is also 36. The hidden light of the 36 Or HaGanuz light is for us to keep in our pockets till next Hanukkah. So it says here, this hidden love gets squeezed out by life-crushing experience. But, and here's the punchline, the crushing does not necessarily need to come from on high. God forbid. It suffices that a person demeans and humbles themselves. When we just crush our mouth a little bit, someone just wasn't so nice to us. And our will is to show them that we were right. Our will is to prove our point. That they don't know what they're talking about and they don't remember. we say, I'm going to crush my desire. I'm going to crush my ego that wants to exonerate myself. I'm going to humbly deal with this. I'm going to listen more. Where are they at? Why are they saying that? What's going on with them? That's not about me. Get rid of me. I'm crushing myself. That brings my supernatural powers out. There was a story of the Baal Shem Tov. He took amazing people, all the Chevra Kadisha, to an amazing journey, on the wagon, whoosh, they were there. Miraculous. They led. And soon after, they go back. And everyone's like wondering, what did we come here for? We saw bakers and butchers and shoemakers, no offense, but we thought we were going to, experience miracle, Baal Shem Tov something. So one chassid really had the courage to say, why did we come here? For all this miracles that we, got here? The Baal Shem Tov said, you see those? They did Misiris Nefesh. All of these simple so-called butchers and bakers. You didn't see hidden tzaddikim, you saw live tzaddikim. That sacrificed and crushed their will of having their own little whatever. They sold all their basic necessities to take this person out of jail because he did not have rent. And he was a stranger. They did not know him. They reached the level of the ma of the neshama. They crushed their will of wanting material, whatever things that they had to save another life. Tanya talks about it again and again and again. How do you tap into the most essence of your soul? When you help another. When you do something for another. Even in the approbation it says, if you give tzedakah, you're helping yourself more than you're helping them. But it says, not only tzedakah, as in money, time, wisdom. You give your olive that you know to someone else, and then Hashem will bless you to be able to teach the mysteries of mysteries. He keeps, and that's the message actually of the Hanukkah. How come this little light that lasted, it was a miracle, wonderful, but why not as much? The Rebbe Rashab says, any questions? The miracle of this army, some Torah scholars that didn't have no training and no real ammunition, and they stood up and sacrificed their life. Why not that? Can you imagine? I don't know if you know, but I read recently my grandson, this midrash on the Hanukkah, and I don't remember that all 5 sons died. You don't hear that so much. I was like, what?
Yep.
And he died. Yehuda Maccabi. And Matisyahu, the father of 5.
Mm-hmm.
This is unbelievable. But yet, we focus on the oil. Because the oil represents Chochmah. The oil represents the flow of wisdom that we constantly have to keep pouring in. But guess what? The miracle was, we use a little what we have. We don't have so much. We don't have sometimes so much. We might know things, but we may not live what we know. Right? So it's not just, I know this and I know that. It's so that it flows from here to here. So that your heart feels it. Not just your eyes, like the rabbi said. Rabbi said, right? The eyes. That is seeing something, big deal. But But when the heart follows and then reacts upon the suffering of someone and does something about it. So it says here that's why there's such a miracle celebration, because we're so blessed. We have a little oil, but Hashem gives us the opportunity. He'll make the miracles. He'll tap into our supernatural powers and we'll become more of who we really are. So, humility, humbling oneself, is crushing, so that we don't have to have life experiences crushing us. And how do you reach that level of humbleness? It says here, how? Through prayer. We want to be able to have the right actions. But if we don't start our day with the foundation of creating a vessel so our soul can be ignited, so the Shekhinah will rest on us, so that we will be a godly soul in action. If we don't pray with meditation, if we don't study Torah, then it's like it didn't stay. We didn't have a menorah. So the oil, some people love learning. They don't like davening. No, I go to a shiur once a week. No, davening's not for me. I can't concentrate. It's not for me. Yeah, but you're a wild maniac with your children, or you're this, you're that. Your emotions are flaring. You're all over the place. Why isn't the Torah affecting you? The Rebbe Rashab actually addresses this. Torah, when someone learns Torah, it's like, oh my godly soul is on fire. And it is true. It's real. They're you know how many clients, women who came to me and said, my husband's in Kolev, but you can't imagine whatever. I don't want to say. What's 8 hours of learning? Rabbi Rashab addresses this. He says that the missing link, as it were, is there's a lack of meditation in prayer. That's the vessel. Now you're learning Torah. And I always say, learning Torah is like heart surgery. What's heart surgery? You have to prepare the heart. You can't just go into surgery. Oh, we have a heart surgeon here. You have to prepare the heart. And the davening is the preparation of this vessel. You have to purify your body, your heart, your mind. And then your neshama is out. Woohoo! Beginning to be free. But that's not the end of the surgery. Preparing your heart for surgery is not the surgery. Now you learn Torah after. And remember, one of the days of Hayom Yom, it says you can daven and learn and daven and meditate 5 hours. And it will be good for you, so that you can do a true kindness with a happy heart. Meaning, it refined you. You want to be godly, and it's coming from your heart to do it. Fake it till you make it, okay, but do it the deed. That's what counts, even if your heart isn't there. But the preparation allows for the neshama to be able to more and more and more take action. So we see that prayer is what is the surgery, the preparation of the heart surgery, and learning Torah is the surgery. If your heart is not open, and you're all ego, and you're blah, 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 and you didn't really humble yourself in davening, it's just you said words because you had to do it. Kol hakavod, you did it. You're Ganeden, you'll have credit, But you want your heart to be on fire in a good way? You want your heart to have a circumcision? You want the Torah learning to be like a whitewashing your negativity? You want your Torah to be able to go into your heart? if you're not doing it in this precise way, and you're barely davening and learning, then your godly soul is on fire. And it's a true Vegas, and it feels right, and you're excited, and it could be even just intellectual, pleasure, because it's so exciting to learn new things. That's the highest level. Call it kavod. We got to a high level of loving that pleasure instead of a Game Boy. But regarding tikkun hamidot, you have to start with the foundation of the beginning part of the surgery. I always give this example. I'll never tire saying it. You wouldn't go to you have $20 billion to make a higher, sky rise, right? Building up to wazoo. And you go to the architect, I want chandeliers. Look at these chandeliers. I want this, I want that. But you know what? Can you save me money? Can you make the foundation Play-Doh? Are you in your right mind? Anyone would say, are you kidding? So the foundation of our day, so that we can be that light, so we can tap into those supernatural powers organically. Write that down. Oh, it's not childless. Usually, right? It's a natural thing. You put fire, you have oil, you have the menorah, it lights. Do you have to whip it? Oh, come on. Feel it. It's the natural order of things. And for us, how many people are going to therapy and talking about what happened and this and that. Or even the more sophisticated good therapies that are into behavioral modification and all these things. But it's like, your animal soul is going to be your animal soul. You got to get that animal soul on board, because it will mess with you, no matter how many therapies you're going to take, or pills, whatever, or drinks. There's a lot of things you can take to help you numb the pain. When your soul is on fire because you created that vessel and caused the flow to keep flowing, it's organic, it's natural. You have a dog there and or a stubborn goat. It's not going to come with you. It's like you're wasting your efforts. The definition of insane is doing the same thing over and over again, and nothing's changing. It's not working. Davening accesses the Mashiach light. Davening is like an incredible time where what is the light of Mashiach? He gets rid of the darkness. Turns on the light. So when you do this, you reach the sublime levels organically, naturally. Now, the Tanya says that now that you daven, and now that you learned, now you're feeding your soul. Your soul needs nutrition. This Torah is a light, and it brings the purity and does its work organically. But there's a key that most people may not pay attention to, which the author of Yekaiah says, Vedi Barta Bam. Not you moved your lips, speaking the words of Torah. That draws the Chochmah Bina Das of Hashem down to you and attaches your Chochmah Bina Das, and now the power of this Torah is on fire. And that's a key component. I had this one chassid, he came to me, he'd been davening and learning, but not speaking it. And he was really having a very spiral, challenge mentally. He spoke it. He made more of an effort to speak Torah, because these days, unfortunately, people are listening to podcasts. They're hearing Torah or driving to work, or they're hearing Torah. It's not like we used to, chavrusas and talking it and, There's a power in saying it that is so effective in drawing this light down. And without that power of saying it, some people ask me, why you do Tanya of the Day every day? It's like a group that I'm in. And I'm so busy, I'm telling you, like it's not real. Give up something. Don't do that. I'm like, just in case I didn't say the words out loud, at least 5 minutes I'm doing this Tanya out loud to them, because I saw the difference when I didn't do it. And that brings to another example of the menorah in the Beit HaMikdash. The Beit HaMikdash, do you know that it says that in order to light the menorah that is closer to the Holy of Holies, the person lighting the menorah, and by the way, it didn't have to be a Kohen. A Yisrael could go out, and that's another mystical secret, which I'll just give a little, very soon, in about 3 months, 20 years of my hard work of putting an archaeological book together about the Beit HaMikdash and how it's designed and how the messages of the way it's designed are mystical explanations of how we can get to our Holy of Holies. I did an adult book and a children's book.
Wow.
It's going to be coming out. So one of the concepts that I share, the Rebbe shared, he says that, and these are sichas and altar and this, it's like all over the places that I, over the years, saw that it's in different places, and it has to be in one place, at least some. So the Rebbe actually explained that the lighting of the menorah had to be from the outside fire. That was the halacha. You can't do it from the fire that was closer. The Mizbech HaZahav, it's gold, it's so close to the Holy Holies, why not that one? But outside?
Wow.
So the Rebbe said that, the menorah represents your light. If you're not outside helping others and sharing your light with others, you're not a light. You won't have a light. You can't be a light unless you care for someone else and share the wisdom of the Torah. Share your life and give.
That's the healing. You said the surgery, the heart surgery, and then the surgery you have to heal, and this is maybe
Going
you give
outside and giving. So it's interesting. Rabbi Yosef Jacobson actually gave an amazing, true story. Till this day, it's so hard for me to even say it. It's Hanukkah. This man, he was a survivor, and he told this story. He was in the cargo. It was freezing. They put just barely nothing. I'm freezing even with everything, sometimes. I'm still defrosting from New York. Okay? I can't even imagine. I can't. And he was freezing. And he was falling asleep. And the neighbor lying so close to him was waking him up. Warm me, warm me. And he was feel bad. He felt with his heart. He saw him shivering, but he felt his shivering.
Wow. Yeah.
And he warmed him and massaged him, and then about to fall asleep. Let me fall asleep. I'm so cold. Let me just fall asleep. I need some relief from the pain of the suffering. He woke him up again. Wake up. Warm me. Warm me. Finally, the daybreak happened. And guess what? Everybody was dead. Except the man that was warm and the one that was warming him. Because he had to work hard. He was warming up his body to warm him. You think you're warming Hosanna? You're warming yourself up. You're a light. That's how you become your light. That's how you tap into your supernatural powers. Not so that you'll be supernatural. Because that's what God wants of you. That's what God meant for you to be here. You know, there was a teaching by the Rebbe who said, from Pirkei Avot, Oy lahem, those that don't oisek b'Torah. What do you mean? A bas called? Who's hearing this voice saying, "Oh, you're not oisek b'Torah"? And first of all, what's this mountain of Hermon? Why is it kind of this voice coming from? What is the mountain of Hermon? We have our Sinai. And then it says, it's likened to a pig that has gold in its nose and doesn't see the value of the ring. Rabbi dissects this. So, first of all, why oisek b'Torah? Why not loimed Torah?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's talking about the people who are learning Torah, but are not making it their business to get it to others. And it says, Man Chorev comes from the word Cherev. Because us giving the Torah to others in all four corners of the world is like a sword chopping down the darkness. And not only that, Cherev comes from Laharchiv. We're expanding the borders of Kedusha. You have a Torah, you're not sharing it? It's like you're like a pit, like you don't value like the gold and the. It's so valuable. It's so powerful. God wants you to have your super powerful natural powers out of there because you're His ambassador. He needs you. The world needs you. We cannot underestimate the power of our soul when it's on fire. You do a little. Use your little oil. God will supply with you. I can't even explain to you. When I started, my husband said, we're going to be Chabad. I'm like, oh, okay. What do you want? I just had a baby. It's like, no, you're a therapist. You have to study Tanya. We're Chabad. You'll see. It's going to answer so many questions. This is like Chinese and Japanese together. I just did not understand it. Zero. That day, one day I was reading it, like, oh my gosh, whatever, I almost was going to give up. My neighbor, who's about Shuvah, she says to me, can you teach me? I'm like, oh my gosh, my husband says you should learn it. Hey, you know what, maybe I'll try to teach it to her. You know, I don't know Hebrew so well, so I'll look like an idiot, but not so much because I don't know Hebrew so well. I'll try. The same thing in the morning I did not understand. All of a sudden I'm trying to translate it. Wow! The approbation came true. Like it actually happened. I could not understand it. I started teaching my neighbor, and I started understanding. I mean, I wasn't diagnosed, but had I been diagnosed maybe in those days, they would have said I was ADHD. Because I could not concentrate, sit down. I was all over the place constantly. Go for a ride in the bike, go skateboard, go do this, that, work 10 jobs. I was like, I read. My brain couldn't. It was like really, not brain dead, but like not so good at reading or absorbing or understanding. This is the miracle of Hanukkah. We gotta believe in ourselves, because in ourselves is Hashem. And He's gonna activate, He's gonna help us. Please God. I want to be on time somewhat because I know we started 15 minutes late, but we'll catch up with other classes hopefully, and so that the next speaker has the chance to, because it's getting late, but I'm like so thankful for this opportunity to share my journeys. And Please God. This is your life. Torah. Please God.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you.
For joining here on Facebook. You're still alive there. Awake, I meant alive meaning awake. Oh, and I hope to see you in the next classes. It's so nice. Like sometimes I go speaking somewhere and like, bye, and that's it. So we have a few days here together, and I'm so excited. I have more books in these, but I just brought a few of them. Hopefully you can see what I'm up to and what I'm going to be up to soon in the next class. Yeah. Oh yeah, questions. There were questions. I hope I can answer. God help me.
Like, for example, somebody like Bobo is getting by suitcases, and I tip them straight with our wages or salaries. So is it, but I do more and I like to tip him, right? But he helped me. So it's not a charity, right? Because he did something for me. And charity is supposed to be, so it's part of a charity.
I think that's a rabbi's question. I don't know, but I can imagine. First of all, you did a kiddush Hashem by giving extra. It's a very, very important. We're going places, and we, you know, we say, oh, they get paid, you know. But it's okay. I'd rather give it to a Jew. But Rambam actually says, like, you know, it's important to give to the non-Jews and also to do a kiddush Hashem.
Right. So it's part of a charity or not really?
I think it is, but